First ever Zoom ETL Friday night leadership class. Super excited to be on here with everybody tonight. And guys, obviously there's a lot of crazy things going on in the world right now, and I know that there's a lot of people on the line that are been affected, and we're praying for everybody's health, praying for everybody financially. But at the end of the day, I think we all would agree that we've got a solution, we've got a viable plan B to really circumvent this from ever being a future occurrence for people again. And how many of you, there's never been a better time to talk about having a home-based business? Meaning there's never been a time like today to talk to people about residual income, to talk to people about building a business online, to talk to people about building something that's globally scalable, to talk to people about building something that they can literally run the entire business, literally from the comfort of their home without ever leaving their home. And we've got an answer for a lot of people right now, guys. Companies are downsizing. People are in peril. And at the same time of all those things happen, we can teach people how to augment their income. And at the end of the day, when there is a problem and you have the solution, that's called opportunity. But what I want to ask everybody to think about too is you got to really come from a place of compassion. You got to come from a place of empathy. We got to all just think about the fact that, I was talking to somebody a little bit earlier on the phone. I think it was Sarah Etienne. I was saying, Sarah, I'm in such a bubble right now just because of how much my phone is ringing off the hook. I've done more presentations probably in the last 4 days than I've done in the last 4 weeks. And I was talking about how I'm in such a bubble right now that it's almost like I'm detached from what's actually going on and the suffering that a lot of people are going through. But, I continuously try to remind myself that we got to come from a place of compassion. We got to come from a place of empathy. We got to know that we've got a solution. We can be a blessing for other people, but we got to come from a place of help and not from a place of attack. Meaning, yes, we want to attack our businesses. We want to build our business to the next level. But at the same time, we got to make sure we're mindful on any of the things that we're putting on social media. We got to make sure we're mindful of not attacking what other people are doing, not saying, I bet you wish that you had joined me, 3 months ago. So all that's going to do is have people not want to be in business with you. So just remember, guys, people want to be in business with people that they like and trust. And I like promoting on social media that I'm grateful for having a home-based business that creates residual income for me. But guys, just to start the call off, I just want to make sure everybody, again, is just thinking about the fact that we got to be mindful of what people are going through. Because yes, we have a solution to people's problem, but nobody's going to want to have you be their solution if they see you being a jerk about it. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. I just wanted to say that to get the call started. With that being said, guys, I went through 2008, 2009, meaning I got started, and we all did, but I got started in ACN in the end of 2005. And in 2008, 2009, my income absolutely exploded. My income exploded because, just like I'm talking about right now, I always tried to be a good person to somebody. And because of that, a lot of people reached back out to me and said, Jeff, I'm ready now. A lot of people were just open. I had people call me up. I didn't even remember who they were. But they were like, look, I met you at a presentation. Now I'm looking to go out and do something. In 2007, I had a really great second year in ACN. I made a very nice six-figure income year 2. But by year 4, by 2009, when everything else was melting, my income had over doubled, in one of the worst economic situations. So ACN is a business that when things go down financially, ACN a lot of times goes up. But it goes up for people that do things the right way. See, we do great in a good economy, and we probably even do better in a bad economy because, again, we're a solution. People are more open-minded right now about saving money and certainly about making money and certainly about an online business and certainly about residual income. So there's a bunch of things that I want to talk to everybody about on tonight's call. The first thing I want to talk about is really what our new system is. I want to make sure everybody understands the new Rockstar system. And I love this. And I believe we're going to perfect this down to a science, to the point where this is going to be the way we're building our business in the future. Meaning what we're doing today is going to be normal. How many of us like the idea of building a business around the world from home? How many of us would agree we can be a lot more efficient? I did, I think, 4 Zoom home meetings today. I think I signed up 11 people so far today from Zoom presentations without leaving my house, without sitting in traffic, without driving anywhere. Matter of fact, as a team, I believe in the last 36 hours, I haven't heard the California results today, but from our results in New England and California's results yesterday, we've had over 30 people join this team, probably more, literally in the last 36 hours. So again, guys, people are looking right now like never before. But again, be tactful. But here's what we're going to be doing. When it comes to the new system, every single day, the goal is to have as many Zoom meetings as possible. Now, it's very important that your new IBOs, that they have their own first Zoom meeting. They got to have a kickoff. They got to have a launch. See, what I see happening is some people having their new people just plug into other people's Zooms. And it's really important that everybody has their own first meeting. Once they've had one, if they want to plug into other Zooms, that's awesome. You guys as an ETL, if you want to have your own Zoom, awesome. You want to just plug into the other Zooms that are going on, awesome. Melissa's going to talk in a little bit about the calendar that we've set up to make it easy for people to plug into all the different things that are going on. But remember, the only thing that separates coal from diamonds is pressure. Pressure is what separates coal from diamonds. And what I mean by that is each new person has to have the pressure of having their own Zoom. It's going to force them to learn how to use Zoom, A. B, they're going to invite a whole lot more people if it's their Zoom meeting. If they're just plugging into somebody else's Zoom meeting, they might invite one person. But if you're not having your new person have their own Zoom, you're handicapping them and you're stunting the growth that you could have in your business. See, would we all agree 5 home meetings is always more powerful than 1 home meeting? So if you have 5 new people just plugged into 1 meeting, that's still 1 meeting. They'll invite a person or 2. But if they each have their own meeting, they're going to each invite a group of people. And I'm watching people that struggle to have people come to their living room, literally get 10 people on a Zoom presentation, 7 people on a Zoom presentation. I've got somebody tomorrow with, I think, 18 people confirmed on our Zoom meeting that didn't have the most results when it came to getting people in their home. Everybody's around right now. Everybody's looking. You want to also make sure that you book their meetings literally 24 to 48 hours. People don't need a ton of time to plan for a Zoom meeting. Right now, everybody's around. I'm going to teach you guys some language as far as a script that's been working for me, so we can get people plugged into these Zoom meetings. But again, the system, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's Zoom meetings throughout the day. And then every night at 8 o'clock, we're going to do a nationwide presentation call. That mostly a senior vice president or a top performing regional vice president is going to run that call. There's going to be strong testimonials on it. There's going to be literally hundreds of people on these calls. And would you agree, people want to see social proof? And what the 8 o'clock call is designed for, it's designed for a second look at ACN. Meaning for somebody that saw a Zoom meeting during the day and they're like, my spouse needs to see this. Great. Get your spouse on the 8 o'clock Zoom. Watch it together. For somebody, it's like, well, I'm thinking about it. Great. You got to watch our nationwide call. Wait till you hear, and everybody's going to see who the presenter is, so you can build value in advance of the presenter. You can edify the presenter, and you want to become great at getting people from that first exposure to a second exposure. The 8 o'clock Zoom is not designed to be a first exposure. The 8 o'clock Zoom is designed to be a second exposure. And if you use it as a second exposure, people are going to sign up at the end of that second exposure. Now, at the end of that 8 o'clock call, they're going to have an opportunity to get back in touch with the person that invited them on the call and sign up as a representative. And those of them that sign up, you give them the code for the 9 o'clock training call so they can then get on the training call at 9 o'clock. And here's what I've seen. I've seen certain people do a really great job at promoting the value of the 9 o'clock call. They turned a maybe into a yes just by building the value of that 9 o'clock call. Matter of fact, Melissa, if you could unmute yourself, maybe if you wouldn't mind just sharing what happened, earlier on today, I think everybody would really get a lot out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we did a afternoon presentation today where several people, texted us saying, I'm in. So we knew who to follow up with. And one woman, she had texted saying, I have some questions. So I called her and answered her questions. And then I asked her, are you ready to get started? She goes, well, I want to see if I can watch your training before I make that decision. I said, listen, we have a lot of people. My husband is literally in the other room right now, or you could say my business partner's in the other room right now. The phones are going off the hook. People are ready to get started. And the faster you make a decision to get started, by the time you actually finish watching the training, you might already have a business partner underneath you. She's like, okay, all right, let's just do it. But she went from let me think about it, let me see what your training's like, but she was already there. She told me herself she was 98% in, but she just needed a little bit more. But just saying, hey, listen, I can give you access to the training, but the thing is, you're going to miss out. And you're going to learn the #1 system of building this home-based business on that call. So you might as well get your ID number ready to go so that after you listen to the training, we can get your ducks in a row and get you set up with your next steps.
Yep, and I love Melissa's language, the #1 system in all of home-based business. I was talking to Ken Potter last night. These guys had a phenomenal day yesterday in their business. And Ken was talking to me about a successful real estate agent that he spoke with that was on a Zoom, called them up afterwards, had a bunch of questions. He was answering questions. She's like, I want to watch your training. And Ken goes, great. You can, but you got to be a rep. See, it's the #1 home-based business system, out there right now. And if I'm going to let you on the #1 training in all of home-based business, you got to be a rep. He goes, look, it's $200. Why don't you just get started, get on the call. At the end of the call, if you don't like what you hear, then we'll just refund you your money. And she's like, you know what? That makes sense. I'll do it. She got on the call, was fired up, booked the Zoom PBR already, is working on getting qualified. But again, it was because of the strength of language that they used in really just promoting the value and the privilege about being on the 9 o'clock call. So guys, the daytime Zooms, that's the first exposure. This 8 o'clock call, that's the second exposure. That's designed for them to see it again and make a decision. Remember, repetition's the key to learning. And then the 9 o'clock call is a call that literally people can just get on and get trained. And here's what I love. How many of us remember when we had weekly trainings, like last week, meaning once a week they'd have a training? And would you agree if they missed the training, they'd have to wait an entire week to get to the next training? Now here, if they missed the training 6 out of 7 times a week, you can say, you can get on the call tomorrow. Now again, promote the value of getting on the next one. But what I love is people getting trained right away. Here's the other thing I love. At the end of the training or during the training, whoever is doing the PBZ training, the private business Zoom training, whoever is doing it is talking about scheduling a meeting right now. Text the person you're working with right now to schedule your meeting. And they actually pause the call. And during the pause of the call, they say, all right, guys, text the person right now. So I know yesterday, Jose Ramos. Jose had somebody that saw a meeting the other day. I talked to him yesterday. She had some questions. When I was on the phone with her, I built the value of the 9 o'clock call. And she said, I'd love to be on. I go, great, we got to get you started. I go, can Jose call you at 8:30 to sign you up? And then we can get you on the call. And she goes, absolutely, let's just do it. So she got on the call, or Jose talked to her, signed her up. She got on the call at 9 o'clock, and then she messaged Jose right on the call, already booking her meeting for tomorrow. So yesterday, she wasn't in ACN. Last night she was. Tomorrow already she has her first meeting. And you guys can just see how much faster we're going to be able to go out and build this. But again, make sure that the people that on your team that get on the call, if they don't text you after the call saying when their meeting is, call them after the call and say, hey, glad you made it on the call. What day do you want to do your Zoom? So if it was yesterday that they were on there, I'd call them up, be like, okay, Saturday or Sunday, worst case Monday, but Saturday or Sunday, what day do you want to do it? And again, guys, people don't need to take a ton of time to put a meeting together because almost everybody is sitting at home right now. We have the world at our attention right now, and we've got something that can be a blessing for a lot of people. So does anybody have any questions at all on what I said so far?
No, sir.
Okay, cool. All right, that's good. Nobody has a question yet. All right, great, perfect, awesome. So guys, this is, again, this is our future. This is, this business is going to turn into just 100% online home-based business, which is just absolutely awesome. Melissa, can you still see me? Yes? Cool. So again, guys, but it's so important that everybody books their own personal meeting. Does everybody see the value in meaning your new IBOs? Does everybody see the value of having your new IBOs do their own meetings? Does anybody have any questions on that, or does everybody understand the importance of that?
I have a question.
Sure.
So I think my question, this probably may have been discussed already, but it's ending the call. So it's ending the Zoom presentation when everyone's on the line, and like we were mentioning, don't want it to be like a group question and answer. I know at the end they want to call their host. So how do you just end it? I feel like it's dry.
That's a great question. And if it's okay, hold on to that for a minute, because I'm going to cover that in a few minutes anyway. But really great questions, Maria. And with that being said, understand, guys, I know a lot of you guys are watching the Zooms. Some of you guys are already doing your own Zoom presentations, which is awesome. We have so many Zooms that are being booked up right now that in the near future, all of you guys are going to be doing your own Zooms. So make sure that you're taking notes, make sure that you're getting familiar with Zoom, and everybody's got to know how to get on a Zoom and download their own slides. So Melissa, can you share this screen and just show people what they would do to download the slides, where they find them on Wealth Institute?
Yep, give me a second. So our team website, everyone should know, is wealthinstituteinc.com. Sorry, one second. Let me just do this really quick. Okay, cool. So if you go under training materials and scroll down, it should be under the private business reception material. Oh wait, no, take that back, go back. Sorry, it's under training materials, Zoom presentation slides, sorry. And it was just updated today. So at that point, you'd click it and then download the file, and you'd have the PowerPoint slides.
Yep, awesome. So again, everybody make sure that you have the slides downloaded and just practice going through it. Like I would even just have somebody, if you have a spouse, be like, hey, let's just do a practice one. And again, learn how to do it, because as this momentum continues to grow, and this momentum is going to really, really grow, you guys got to make sure that just like you learned how to do a PBR, you also got to make sure that you learn how to build a Zoom, how to do a Zoom as well. Now, Maria had a great question. So how do we end the Zoom? So at the end of the presentation, Melissa, can you actually maybe open up a Zoom PBR and just go to the slides at the end after the testimonials?
Yeah.
So, and speaking of testimonials, guys, you want to make sure if you're doing a testimonial on a Zoom, you just do your standard testimonial. Hi, my name is, here's what I do for a living, here's how long I've been in ACN, here's how many reps and customers I have, and it's all due to the training and support. If you can do that in like 15 seconds, then whoever's doing the presentation can then interview you a little bit and be able to get out of you what they know is going to impact the call the most. So we want to make sure everybody's doing just a quick testimonial. We're going to talk about this on the next call too. And then again, that somebody else can go out and interview you. So after the testimonials, at that point, you'll share your screen again. And I just say, let me show you how simple this is. Now, what I try to do is use the example of my last testimonial. So in the one I just did at 5 o'clock, one of my last testimonials was Flavia. I go, let me show you how Flavia got 36 reps and 335 customers in 90 days. See, this is you. And this was Flavia when she got started. Here's the services we offer: electric, gas, TV, home security, internet. How many of you use a lot of these services? Great. Now, our first step is between you and everybody you know and our help. We're going to help you find 5 services. Now, for many of you, those first 5 are actually going to be you. When Flavia got started, her first 5 were her and her husband, Angel. Does everybody see how that already pays for your business? Plus, you're making a residual income. Now, the next step is we're going to train you. Our training, we've got the #1 training system in all of home-based business. We're going to get you trained, and we're going to teach you how to have a meeting just like this, and we're going to do the presentation. When Flavia got started, she invited people over to her home. She pressed play. We did the presentation. For you guys, we're going to teach you how to have a meeting like this, and we're going to do the presentation. How many of you like the fact you don't have to be the one that explains it? Great. And at the end of the meeting, we're going to go out and find business partners for you. Once we get your first two, we'll help them get 5 services each. They're going to make a $200 bonus each. You're going to make another $100 bonus. More importantly, you're promoted to the next leadership level with the company. But let me show you the value of getting started here today. See, your friend Joel knows a lot of people. And Joel's only going to bring 4 people into his team personally. After he brings in his first 4, everybody else goes underneath them. 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. And does everybody see the value of why you want to be 1, 2, 3, 4 rather than 5, 6, 7, 8? So the person that invited you out here today, guys, what they want to do is take your temperature. And see, this is how I ended off. So I show the value of the first 4 spots. I try to really edify the person. I know Roberta's on the line here today. Roberta, can you talk?
Yes, I can talk.
Roberta, when we did your Zoom today, how many people so far have signed up from your Zoom today?
I have, I believe, 8 right now.
8. And so what we did is we made it a real big deal at the end, which I'm going to go back over here in a second, about those top spots, and Roberta spoke with confidence, and I edified and brought value to Roberta and just said, listen, if this makes sense to you, if you're in, text Roberta or text me right now saying I'm in. And the order that we get the text is, that's who's going to be the first 4 spots in the team, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Now, the other thing I want to have you do is I want you to know the person that invited you out here wants to take your temperature. So if you can send them, if you're in, text them 10, I'm in. But anywhere on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you see yourself? 10, you're in. 1, you don't see it for you at all. Just if you could, just do them a favor. Just text them right now, take your temperature. Again, if you're in, just say 10, I'm in, I want one of the spots. But if you're not, just let them know where you stand. And then at that point, guys, most people will at least send a text message taking their temperature. And then if somebody's a 5 or a 6, at that point, we got to get them to the next step. If they're an 8 or a 9, we want to reemphasize the close when we call them back and get them started. If they're a 2 or a 3, you just want to have the host talk to them about being a customer. Maria, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, because I was just thinking, like, do you just hang up because you don't want that back and forth? Like, I have another question. If somebody says, how does that work? And you're just going to go into that close. But online, I feel like there's more room for them to attack you with questions.
Yeah, I have them muted out. They don't ask any questions. The only time I do questions is if I'm doing one-on-one. Like I did one yesterday, it's just a little one-on-one for somebody. I'm fully interactive, answer questions, whatever. But in a group setting, I have them muted out. So I just close it. Here's where we're going. Text the person, take your temperature. And then the last thing I do is I have the person that was doing the presentation share a little bit of a confidence statement. I have them close the presentation. So Joelle just did a great job with the one we just did a minute ago. Roberta did an awesome job earlier on. Robin, who's on the line, we did one for her earlier on. She did a great job. And I think, Robin, you have 2 people minimum getting started from your meeting today too. Is that right?
Yes, it is. 2 people.
And you gave a really great, look, I'm going to the top. Look, let's do this together. So one of the things, I'm going to teach you guys about doing a coaching call in a minute. But first, I wanted you to kind of understand the flow of kind of how to wrap up the presentation. The presentation itself, super simple. Just go through the slides. I'm trying to get all my presentations done in 20, we start usually 5 minutes after, and I try to be completely done, by, let's say the meeting's at 12:05. I want to try to be completely done at 12:30 or earlier. So you want to go through it quick. Don't be very wordy. You don't need to be sales. You just go through the presentation. And at the end, again, you want to go out and do the close. Now, where the close is the most effective is when the person that's the host gives a statement of confidence at the end. It's after you show the 4 spots. If somebody has enough confidence to say, look, be my first 4 spots. Now, not everybody is going to have that type of posture, but for the ones that do, if they do that, it's going to drive more results. But just by them creating some kind of a statement of confidence, you know, that right there will make your enrollment rate even greater just by them hearing that. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay, good. Well, I'm glad everybody's getting this all down. So awesome. So everybody knows how to download their slides. Everybody's going to practice doing presentations. Everybody has a better understanding of the end. And here's the other thing. One of the reasons why it's so important for everybody to have their slides downloaded, if you think about when we normally teach the close at CQ class, we talk about how the most effective close sometimes is when a second person does it. You know, sometimes somebody draws out the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they're like, okay, yeah, I'm thinking about it. But then somebody else goes over, does the same thing, and all of a sudden they're like, I'm in. So obviously we can't do that on a Zoom, but here's what we can do. The person that's on your team that's having the meeting, you want to make sure you have the end of those slides downloaded, because if their person's a 7 or an 8 or so, and you're going to be the person that calls back to ask questions, have your own Zoom link, call them back on a Zoom and just go over that part again. Because just by showing them that same thing a second time, a lot of times that gets people to go to make that next decision, to make a commitment to go out and get themselves started. Now, when it comes to coaching people for the presentation, one thing that's really important, guys, is you got to make sure that everybody that you're working with, that they know the script, that they, you know, that they're not just, you know, sitting there calling people. When they have a meeting scheduled, if you're the ETL and they're on your team, your job is to practice the script with them. Your job is to get them comfortable with inviting. So here's a simple script I'm teaching people right now. Hey guys, it's Jeff, or, you know, hey Bob, it's Jeff. How you doing? I'm doing great. I'm doing good, man. You hanging in there? You doing okay? Great, Bob. Listen, I'm calling you about something I'm actually really excited about. Outside of what you do, are you open to other ways of making money? You are, you know, me too, Bob. Listen, my business has been affected by the economy. I'm sure yours has as well. And because of that, I've been really looking for something. And I got to tell you, I'm really excited because I met a woman that's had massive success in a home-based business. She's built a very successful online business. Her name is Poppy Massey. And tomorrow at 4 o'clock, I'm hosting a 20 to 30-minute Zoom presentation that she's actually going to be my presenter on. If I send you the link tomorrow at 4, could you watch with me for 20 to 30 minutes and we can take a look at this together? Great. I'm going to send you the link right now, and Poppy or somebody from her office will call you the day of the meeting, tomorrow for the meeting, just as a friendly reminder. Now, people ask questions. You know, that's a great question. That's why I'm going to be hopping on the Zoom. I'm excited to learn more myself. It's more of a visual thing. Why don't we learn together? I don't know about you, but I'm looking for something right now. We can learn together. Now, how many of us can teach somebody how to do that script? And again, if they're on the training, you know, they're going to go out and hear that, and they're going to really understand, you know, how that works. Now, anybody have any questions on that?
I do. I have a question, Robin.
Awesome.
This may be something stupid. How do you get the video into the first slide spot where it comes right up? Because I tried working with that through the YouTube and it wasn't smooth.
Melissa, the video is embedded into the slides. Is that correct?
I don't know. I haven't, I'll try it out right now. Let me see.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah, it's embedded.
So the video should be embedded, Robin, when you download it from the team site.
Okay, from the team site. Maybe that's what
all
I did.
all you do is hit next page, and the video is going to come up.
The
Okay,
next training is we're going to teach you how to download YouTube videos. You guys ready?
A matter of fact, Poppy Massey, are you on the call? Melissa, do you know if Poppy's on?
Yes, I am. Sorry, I have myself muted.
Okay, awesome. And I know Poppy has been using Zoom for years for her business. She's a Zoom master. So much of a master she can't unmute her face right now, right? But no, but Poppy's a Zoom. There you are. You look nice.
Jokes.
Yeah. So Poppy's a master with Zoom, and Poppy's actually going to do a training for the team about Zoom, or I think, or are you gonna do it? I know not today, but you're going to either record a video or offer a live training. What did we decide on that?
Hi guys. I was probably going to do a little recording, or I could do a live training. If people want to jump on, I can do that, especially surrounding being a host. And guys, I appreciate so much just everybody being willing to pivot and change and grow. Uh-oh, what happened? Okay. During this time. So Jeff, Melissa, thank you so much for your leadership. And yeah, I'd be more than happy to do either or depending on what's available. Maybe we can do a live one and I can capture it and we can put it on YouTube for Melissa.
I think that'd be awesome. Yeah, she'll help you put it on YouTube. But any
Yep.
like little Zoom tips that you want to maybe share with everybody tonight while we're all online?
So the one thing that I would say is just make sure you have all the slides that you need up and ready to go. Practice going from slide to slide if you need to transition from something. Usually when I'm starting my Zooms, I have a music and a countdown timer playing. I know I've seen other people do that as well. They embed the countdown timer. I just have a completely different system. But as far as transitioning out, when you're having people do testimonials, stop the share, because some people don't know how to go from gallery view to speaker view. And sometimes they're not actually seeing the people give the testimonials because they're still looking at the slides and it's kind of distracting. But the other thing that I wanted to share is if you're a host, make sure that you are welcoming people when they're coming onto the call. Make sure that your energy is up. You don't have to be obnoxious if your energy is not naturally high, but you want to put someone as or make sure that you coach your host just like you would coach them at a home meeting. Be excited. And it's a little different. It's actually, for a lot of people, when I first started doing Zoom meetings, I had no idea where to look. It was like taking selfies, like, where the heck do I look? So you want to make sure that you train them how to look into the camera, the lighting, where to put your computer. Like, usually I don't have it like this. I'm doing multiple things right now, but you want to make sure that people are not looking up somebody's nose, that they're actually looking into their eyes, because it just creates a whole new thing. Background is important, but again, when you're hosting and welcoming people to the call, you don't want a lot of dead space. Like, you don't want somebody sitting there just kind of looking, not knowing what to do as a host. So make sure that they're announcing the names of the people. You can even ask them, hey, can you announce yourself and where you're calling from? And then you can mute the call later. And then there's a way that you can make sure that they don't unmute themselves. And I can show you that later in the training. But it's important it's important that the host knows what to do to make sure that the energy up and the atmosphere of the Zoom is positive and upbeat, so that by the time they transition to the presenter, people are excited to hear what the presenter has to say. So.
Well, I really appreciate you sharing. Let's connect later on after the calls, if that's okay. Just to figure out maybe if there's a time this weekend that we can do that live one. I think sooner the better.
Okay.
Let's put it together. And guys, make sure if you're not in the ETL group chat, meaning if you're not on that chat, just text me or Melissa or your RD and say, hey, I'm not in the chat, so we can add you to it. But make sure that you're paying attention to the info that comes in the chat. I know there's a lot of stuff going on right now because of all the activity, but we'll make sure that we post that in the chat. The other thing I'm going to post in the chat tonight, I'm just going to do a verbal recording of, again, that script. You'll hear me say it on the CQ class again too, but just a verbal recording of that script. Matter of fact, what I've been doing, because again, I want to get everybody on WhatsApp. So what I've been doing is I've been literally just saying, guys, are you on WhatsApp? You're not? Okay, great. Here's the link. Download it. You are? Okay, great. And what I do is just record the script as a voice memo on their WhatsApp. Bill, I know I did it for you earlier on today, and I just recorded it. It's like it's a 1-minute script, and they can listen to it a couple times. And I just say, listen to it, write it down. And when you're good at it, call me back so we can practice it. Don't invite people until we practice. But Poppy, I really appreciate your insights. And Poppy, I know you've had a pretty busy last 24 hours, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to confirm people for a 4 o'clock PBW, PBZ, whatever we're calling them these days. Just doing my best to enroll everybody as far as understanding what's happening right now, because some people, and I'm not saying the leaders on this team, and a lot of us, myself included, are so used to having accessibility to our leaders where we get a kind of an immediate response. I'll be honest, but right now it's so busy and so go that we're launching, we're presenting. People aren't necessarily getting a text back right away, and they're having to step up. And I've had several enrollment conversations with some of our leaders that it's like, hey, time to step up. And pretty much most of them have answered the call. They're plugging back in to the training calls. They're committed to watching how the presentations are done. They're committed to understanding how to onboard. I think I've sent Jeff and Melissa's onboarding video, how to launch a new IBO more times than I can count, because we're just not able to handle it. So I'm just excited about what's going on, and I'm excited that a lot of people are stepping up to the plate.
No, this is, we have the opportunity. I believe we have the best opportunity out there for people. I mean, literally, there's a lot of great network marketing companies, but most of them sell products and understand that if things get a little bit worse, their products aren't going to be able to get shipped out. We literally can do this entire business without leaving our house and not being dependent on the postal service at all. But Poppy, what was your biggest Zoom meeting yesterday?
Howdy, friends. I believe we had 20 people on the Zoom.
27 people on one Zoom. And I think you got a good amount of new business partners yesterday.
Haven't had a chance to follow up with all of them, but at least 3. And then one of them is, he hasn't started yet, but he wants to see how it works. And he's going to, but he scheduled a whole meeting, or not a whole meeting, my gosh. He scheduled a PBW, and he's going to be inviting all of his real estate friends and everybody to that. So I think once a couple people get started, he's going to be like, hold on, wait, let me get started first. But who knows? I might have that conversation before, like, look, you just got to get in. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's $200. Give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
No, exactly. Well, you're doing great. Carlos, are you still on? I saw Carlos on a minute ago.
Hey, Jeff, how's it going?
I'm great, buddy. How you doing?
Good. Sorry about that. Can you guys hear me?
No worries, buddy. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Okay. Awesome.
I think Melissa might have me spotlighted. But Carlos, maybe you can share with everybody what's been going on for you the last couple of days.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, just thank you and Melissa for all that you do, your leadership, and we appreciate you guys dearly and everything you guys do for us. But this has definitely, I just believe that the rock stars have been prepared for this already, just because we've been having Zooms, Sunday night training calls and Zooms, BOMs on Sunday. So it really had prepared us, and we're just having a lot of fun, just having Zoom, enrolling people, and just sometimes within the same day or the next day, all right, we're putting one together for you. Here's a script. I'm emailing you this information, or like you said, sending them a recorded call, and let's get as many people as we can in front of this information. And because of everything that's going on right now, everything's uncertain of what's going to happen in their industry. People are just all the way out. Packing up the Zooms, and we're just enrolling people. I believe that, like you guys mentioned, this is a window of time, and if we don't take advantage of it, it's going to leave us behind. So we're just going full force and doing as much as possible, just Zoom after Zoom after Zoom. I believe yesterday we did about 6 Zooms, and I literally only had 1 hour in between, less than an hour in between each one to do something for myself. So, but it's a lot of fun, definitely.
You've had a lot of results the last 2 days too, haven't you?
Yes, we have.
Well, excited for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
About 5 or 6 new reps just within the last 2 days. So, yeah.
Great job, brother. Doing awesome things. And how fast are you having people schedule their Zoom after they get started?
I actually when I'm actually helping them enroll putting them in the system, and I'm letting them know, okay, how fast can we do this? And, I always say the name of this game is speed. So how fast can we do a presentation just for you? And one of the things that we do, we have the 3-phase close inside the slides, and I already let them know, look, I'm not even asking them, can you do this? I'm saying, look, we're going to do one of these just for you, just like we did for the host. So I'm no longer even asking them, can you do one of this? No, look, we're going to get you your first 5 services. You're going to make your money back. we're going to host one of these presentations for you, just like we did for the host, and we're going to help you get a couple of business partners. So I'm already putting it in their head that's going to happen. So when we're enrolling them and I'm putting them in the system, I'm already asking them, okay, when do you want to schedule it? Can we do that for you today, or can we do it for you tomorrow? So I'm just giving them the option of today or tomorrow. I'm not even letting them look at their calendar. When can you fit me in? When can I put this in front of your people?
Well, at the end of the day, most people don't have a lot of on their calendar right now, but you know, success loves speed, and I love what you're doing. And for me, I'm like, look, get started, get on the call tonight. And literally last night on the call, 50 plus Zoom PBRs were scheduled just from that call. So guys, that 9 o'clock call is so powerful. Just make sure that you get good at promoting that call for people, because it's such a powerful call. Here's the other thing I love about what's going on right now is, again, if somebody misses the call, you should have a rolling list of follow-ups. So if somebody misses the call and they don't get on it, you know, if they were thinking about getting started, like let's say at 8 o'clock, follow up with them the next day to get on it again. And if they're a new IBO, they couldn't get on, get them on the next day. But again, that 9 o'clock call is going to help you get those Zoom PBRs scheduled. But again, have them do it just within a couple of days. You know, remember that idle times is the devil's workshop. So the longer that people are thinking about doing their meeting, the harder it becomes for them to do their meeting. So get them on to Zoom, get their meeting scheduled within literally 24 to 72 hours max of their Zoom, you know, and then that way we can have their first presentation going for them. Now, when going back to coaching people, so we want to make sure we're teaching them the script, you know, as ETLs and above. You want to make sure that you really study that 72-hour call on the CQ class tonight, and make sure you're teaching them the script, but then you're also talking to them about business owners. Who do you know that's self-employed? Who do you know that works for themselves? Who do you know that owns a business? Who do you know that's in real estate? See, if you're not putting it into their mind, they're just normally going to go out and take the path of least resistance and invite the people that are easy for them. Now, they're going to hear about doing this on the 9 o'clock call, but you got to reiterate it for them. You know, in 2009, when I was on a flight, I read an article from the CEO of Coke, and the article said, never miss a good recession. And what the article talked about, it was the CEO of Coke talking about timing of restructuring. And he was talking about how they were still cash strong where most companies weren't. And because they were still cash strong, he was restructuring and attracting people to his team, attracting people to his organization at a fraction of the price of people he normally couldn't attract. And he was just talking about the caliber of people he brought into his leadership team. And guys, right now, there's people open-minded that normally aren't open-minded. There's people that want this. Like, I'll give you guys a great example. Yesterday morning at 9 a.m., I followed up with a successful real estate broker out of Boston that I met at a home meeting like 4 months ago. And he was just a good guy. So I just keep following up with people when they're good people. You know, not every day, but I just keep dripping on them. So I've called him probably, 3 times in the last maybe 5 weeks or so. And he picked up my call once for like 60 seconds. Hey, Jeff, I'm busy. Thanks for following up with me. Your persistence. All right, but I don't have time right now, blah, blah, blah. No problem. I'm going to keep you in the loop. Yesterday morning, I called him up. And again, I'm coming from a place of compassion, not attack. And I called him up and I just said, hey, listen, Joe, how's everything going? He goes, man, it's crazy right now. He's like, I'm a realtor and I also have my own courier service. I go, what do you mean? He goes, nobody's delivering the documents, so I'm delivering the documents. I go, wow, tell me more. And we're talking, we go, Joe, listen, if we were ever going to do this together, now would probably be the time. He goes, you know what? You're right. I need something positive. Just sign me up. And I almost paused. I was caught so off guard. I was like, all right, great. Let me sign you up. So we signed him up. He was on the call last night. He was qualified this morning. Did ID seal for him, ID seal for his wife, electricity, getting a Vivint quote literally right now, I think, with the Vivint rep. And he already has his Zoom scheduled. So he went from blowing me off for 4 months to signing up, getting to a training the same day, being qualified the next morning, doing a Zoom call 48 hours from now. So does everybody understand why it's so important to talk to your people about who to invite? And the other two parts of it are, make sure that people get you the confirmation list. The confirmation list is more important now than ever before, because we can't really build a lot of rapport before the Zoom, but we can on the confirmation call. And what I do, if they don't pick up, I just send them a text, a little, hey, this is Jeff. I got your name and number from Bob. You know, he spoke highly of you. Looking forward to meeting you on the webinar. Here's how to download Zoom if you don't have it. And here's the link. See you at 3 o'clock. And just yesterday, I had a woman that texted me back that missed Jose's meeting the day before. And she said, I missed the meeting. Is there another one? I said, can you talk for a minute? So literally, without a confirmation list, we would have just thought that she was not interested. But instead, we got her on the phone. I got her on the phone, answered her questions, and Jose put her in the system last night. She has a PBR tomorrow. If it wasn't for the confirmation list, we wouldn't have known that. And also, I've been able to really connect with people on those confirmation calls. What's an effective confirmation call? Hey, Bob, it's Jeff Street. I got your name and number from FOLA. She spoke really highly of you. Just wanted to give you a call. Wanted to let you know I'm looking forward to meeting you on the webinar today at 4 o'clock. Do you know how, did she send you the link? She did great. Have you ever used Zoom? You haven't? Listen, let me send you the link right now how to download it. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do? You know what? Wow. You know, great to get to know you a little bit. Really looking forward to connecting with you tonight on the webinar. I'll see you on there. Glad we got a chance to talk for a minute. So that's my confirmation call. Now, the last piece is this. Melissa, can you share the screen of the Zoom, the PBZ checklist? And Royale, you have a question, buddy?
Can you make two?
Hey, Jeff. Thank you so much. You know, can you guys see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you.
Perfect. All right. So just what you said just now, as it relates to the confirmation list, you know, what I did yesterday as well is that I noticed that we did about 9 Zooms yesterday, about 30 people total. Out of those 30 people, we probably miss about 20 people. I'm telling you, that's painful. And the reason, some people sign on with the name of their phones. And it doesn't matter how you preach, put your camera on. Some people just won't. And I wasn't able to look at everything while I was presenting. And then the host did not know who these people were. So it is good for the host to enroll them while they were actually welcoming them to the call as well. Hey, who do we have here? I noticed Melissa did it earlier. Hey, you know, I see your name here and whatever. So it's good for the host to enroll them there. The second thing I want to ask you, Jeff, for me and maybe for others as well, is that when they ask the question, hey, can you tell me more? How do you approach that with your confirmation call?
Yeah, no, great question. So I just say, yeah, you know what? You know, I have a home-based business, an online business. It deals with technology. You know, I started a home business, you know, 14 years ago. I never thought it would be as irrelevant as it is today to say I'm a home-based business owner. But right now, I believe I have a solution for a lot of people. Would you agree? There's a lot of people right now that are looking to work from home. So I'd love to have you hop on the link. I can show you how it all works. It's more of a visual thing. It's kind of like if I'm a real estate agent, it's hard to show you a house, you know, over the phone. Same thing here. But if you hop on, I'd love to have you see it. It's really quick. You'll get your questions answered and see if there might be an opportunity that we can go out and make some money together.
Got it.
And that's pretty much it. I hope that helps. Melissa, can you show that slide? Awesome. Uh-oh. What did I do? Still learning.
You're still learning. You're there.
Okay, here we go. All right. So again, we're going to put this in a group chat in a few minutes too, so everybody has this. But this is so important to go over with your people before they have their Zoom. Get them in a situation where they have a nice background. You know, be in a well-lit area. You know, Rick did his first one yesterday. We did a quick little test run first just to make sure that we could do it. Have them test their microphone, test if their camera's on or not. Send it to, here's something that's really important. I tell every person to text all their people 15 minutes before the Zoom. Now they've gotten the confirmation calls from us, but people a lot of times right now are just kind of hanging out, playing with the kids, playing with the dog or whatever, and they might actually, you know, lose track of time. So I just have people send a text message 15 minutes before the meeting. Just, hey, reminder, call starts in 15 minutes. Here's the link. So you want to make sure that you coach your people on doing that. Also, you want to tell them to ask the guest to sign in with their name and with their camera on. And like Royale said, a lot of people still aren't going to do that, but that's okay. Some of them will if you say that. And make sure your guests have the Zoom app downloaded on their device. We talked about that, a minute ago. But that text message ahead of time is really important. And the one thing I think that will add to this that I think is really, really important is really teaching them how to do an exciting introduction. And really teaching them how to edify, the speaker. Because if the person does a great introduction, that sets the tone for the whole meeting. If the host is excited and they really do a great job edifying you, it's going to go, yeah, Poppy said, make sure your laptop is fully charged. Yeah, great reminder, Poppy. I think it was Robin's meeting I was doing today that as the video went on, it said on the screen, like, computer will die soon. And I had to plug in so yeah, make sure your laptop's fully charged or even charging, while you're doing your presentation. So, but that Zoom checklist is so important. We'll put it in the ETL group chat. The other thing, guys, is, qualifications. There's so much value in getting your people on the leadership call. So much value in it. So you got to make sure you're looking at people in your team that aren't qualified yet. And every Friday, your goal should be to have a whole new batch of people on that CQ call. Make sure you build value with people about the Friday night leadership class. Look, this is next level information. This is the golden nuggets, but we can't get you on there until you have your 7 points and you've had your Zoom. Really look at your team today of who isn't qualified yet to join a leadership call, and do everything you can to get them to get qualified, because they'll get so much out of what we're about to do here at 7 o'clock. Now, the other thing too, guys, is make sure that you're, focusing on the high point services as well with people. We're in the IDCO business. Everybody should really have IDCO for themselves. If for some reason they can't get the annual plan, be like, look, let's start off at least with the monthly plan. You can always upgrade it to the annual plan later on. But, make sure that people aren't just relying on energy bills, because they'll get qualified and they'll get a check a lot faster if you're talking to people about high point, services as well. But guys, personally recruiting, again, right now is the time to follow up with people. Right now is the time to talk to a bunch of people. I know Flavia and Angel are on here. These guys have brought in a bunch of new people personally just over the last couple of days. They've got people on almost every Zoom that I do. Flavia, are you in a position where you can talk?
I am.
And you guys have, even been recruiting on social media and, sharing things about home-based business. And I just wanted to recognize you. Melissa just told me we're about to run out of time. So sorry about that, guys. And then Jay Festa as well. I wanted to acknowledge Jay. Jay just signed up 2 major builders, literally just right before this call started, that him and I met with earlier on today. And Jay and I were talking. A week ago, these guys wouldn't be open-minded to ACN. But right now, Home Depot is closing, and they're not going to be able to go out and run their business. So again, there's so many opportunities right now to share this business with people. But guys, the CQ class is going to be really important tonight. You want to get your teams engaged. Text message people in your team right now that are CQs. Get on the call. It starts in 2 minutes. It's a different link. So we're all going to have to log off this and log back on. But make sure you text people right now. And make sure you come prepared with home meetings for your, or Zoom meetings, not home meetings anymore, Zoom meetings for your team for this week. Make sure that you've got Zoom scheduled. I would think about right now, who else needs to schedule one? Text message somebody right now. Text message somebody right now. Let's get your meeting scheduled. Everybody wants to come to the call with meetings scheduled. And again, I would text message anybody that doesn't have one scheduled right now, that hasn't had one yet, saying, hey, we're scheduling the Zoom meetings for the next 72 hours. What day can I do yours? Can we do Saturday, Sunday, or Monday? What day can we do yours? And get those scheduled. And we're going to start off the call with scheduling all of them. So hope everybody got some value out of tonight. I'm excited to do the CQ class. Get your people on. Guys, this is growing your next wave of leaders. Get your people onto the CQ call and get people with their meetings booked. Melissa, any